Hello students, I am Meena Madam. Today I am going to continue the chapter Globalization and Indian Economy. Today we have to study about World Trade Organization, second Spatial Economic Zones, and third the impact of globalization. But before starting these topics, I would like to give you the definition of quota. In fact, quota refers a limit on the number of goods that can be imported or exported. Now we have to study about the World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization has been set up at the initiative of the developed countries. It started functioning from 1st January 1995. At present, it has 152 member countries. Its main objective is to liberalize international trade. In practice, it is seen that the developed countries have forced developing countries to remove trade barriers, but they themselves continue to retain barriers. Here, one question is arised: how can trade between countries be made more fair? In fact, all countries, developed and developing, should work to reduce trade barriers and let the market force of demand and supply decide the volume of goods that will be transacted between the countries. Now we have to study about the spatial economic zones. Government tries to attract foreign investment since it brings first money and capital, second new technology, third better management practice, fourth generate more job opportunities, fifth competition that in turn improve quality of goods, good quality. Sixth, good quality of goods increase export. Seventh, government earn more taxes. So, to attract foreign investment, central and state government in India have been given special offer that is called special economic zones. Under special economic zones, foreign companies are given many facilities. Very first one is world class facility in electricity, water, roads, transport, etc. Second, companies do not have to pay taxes for an initial period of 5 years. Third, companies are allowed flexibility in labor laws. It means companies can hire labor for short period when there is no intense of work, means when there is no lot of work, instead of hiring them on regular basis. But this system of such has been opposed by some section of India. Very first one is farmers oppose such since companies set their production units on the land that is taken from farmers at low rate and they are left with no source of livelihood. Second, under flexibility of labor law, labor class lose their security and regularity of jobs. Third, small scale industries can't face the competition from the foreign companies set under such. Here one question is arise that why do developed countries want developing countries to liberalize their trade and investment? And what should the developing countries demand in return? In fact, developed countries want developing countries to liberalize their trade since developing countries have first one, cheap resources, second, a large market. In this situation, developing countries should demand first one, fair price of their resources, second, free movement of their labor and capital in the developed countries. Here one question is arised: how does liberalization of trade and investment help the globalization? In fact, liberalization means first one, removal of restrictions and trade barriers, and it results in expansion in export and imports. Second, removal of restrictions results in first one, foreign MNC invest in India. Second, Indian MNC invest in other countries. So due to liberalization, a two-way flow of goods, services, capital, technology, and labor take place, and it promotes globalization. Now we have to study about the impact of globalization. In fact, there are positive and negative both impact of globalization. So first of all, we have to see the positive impact of globalization. So very first one is more and better quality of goods at cheaper rate are available. Second, customers have a number of choice to choose. Third, more and advanced technology comes in India, and Indian industries are benefited by manufacturing at low cost. Fourth, competition given by foreign companies force Indian companies to manufacture better quality of goods and expand business by exporting their products. Fifth, employment opportunities are increased and improve the living standard higher of the people. Six, government gets more sources of income. Now we have to see the negative impacts of globalization. First one is due to inferior quality of goods, local products can't compete with foreign goods. Second, generally Indian products are costly due to the lack of advanced technology. So can't become the first choice of customers. Third, as local industries can't compete with foreign industrialist economy is occupied by foreign companies. Fourth, as foreign companies use advanced technology, it reduces job opportunities. Fifth, foreign companies are given a number of facilities that leads job insecurity of workers. After knowing the merits and demerits of globalization, one question is arised that what would be the future of globalization. In fact, globalization is a win-win situation for all except for the weakest section in the developing countries. The world can be expected to get more integrated over the next 20 years. Many of the existing trade and investment restrictions may come down. Goods, services, capitals, and technology will move more freely between the nations. It is too early to say that the developed countries remove restriction on the movement of people. In fact, they may put more restrictions since the large flow of people from developing world can create in developed countries social, economic, and political problems. So listen the video very carefully and answer these questions in or copy. The very first one is why do government try to attract more foreign investment? Second is the setting of SEJ has been opposed by some people in India. Find out who are these people and why are they opposing it. Third, write a short notes on World Trade Organization. Fourth, how would flexibility in labor laws help companies? Fifth, why do developed countries want developing countries to liberalize their trade and investment? What do you think should the developing countries demand in return? Sixth, globalization will continue in the future. Can you imagine what the world would be like 20 years from now? Sixth, what are the positive impact of globalization? And last one is write some negative impact of globalization.